Good day, ladies and gents. All right, so today we're going to be doing trapezoids and kites. So that's awesome. All right, so this is pretty quick. So here we go. All right, so we're on page 4 of your notes. All right, so we need to know the difference between parallelograms, trapezoids, kites, and squares. All right, so parallelograms are when two sets of sides are parallel. So that's pretty easy to remember. Now, trapezoids. So these are trapezoids, these are not trapezoids. So let's talk about why these are not trapezoids. The trapezoids, only one pair of sides are parallel. So this and this are parallel to each other, and one set of sides is not parallel. So this is not a trapezoid because there are no sides that are parallel. It's not even 4 sides. This not 4 sides, and so not 4 sides, not 4 sides, not 4 sides. Okay, now these are 4 sides. This we need one set of sides that are parallel. So no parallel. And this one is not. This is actually a parallelogram. We have 2 sets of parallel sides. So we can only have one set. We can only have one set. So these are the different ways how this could look. So this and this are parallel. And what you want to do is always turn it for the parallel sides to be horizontal to you. So this is trapezoid. Okay, right here, these 2 sides are parallel. So this is a trapezoid. This right here, this is also a trapezoid, but you want to turn it so that the parallel sides are horizontal. So this right here, this is the trapezoid. And so this would be your up. So this is how you would look at this problem. And this one right here, and please note that this right here, that one of these, this is 90-degree angle. Isn't that nice? And then this right here, here's your other trapezoid, where this and this are parallel. So, and this is how you want to look at it. So you always want to turn it so that those 2 parallel sides are horizontal, and that just saves you so much hassle. From now on, when you're working on this particular problem, you would have to look at it this way, so that this is your up. All right. Okay, so you need for trapezoid, you need 1 set of parallel sides. Okay, in addition to that, the median. So here are 2 parallel sides, right? Okay, so the median, what you want to do is add your base 1 and base 2. It doesn't matter which one's which. Your bases are the 2 parallel sides. So add them together and divide by 2. So just add them together, divide by 2, or 2 of the middle equals these 2 added together, however you want to look at it. So, so if I had 10 and 20, 10 plus 20 divided by 2 would equal 15, because 10 plus 20 is 30. Divide by 2, and that'll give you 15. Okay, and this one, consecutive angles not on the same base are supplementary. So here are the bases, right here and here, right? Now, so basically the 2 verticals, once you turn it this way, just remember, these 2 add up to equal 180, these 2 add up to 180, and you're good to go. Okay, now let's go to kites. I love kites. Too bad we're not going to be using them very often. But kites, what you want to do is you want to turn it until you have Jesus. So you want to look like this, right? So if it's sitting like this, you want to turn it until it's up this way, and then everything else falls into place. So the basic rule is that two consecutive sides are not congruent. So these 2 sides, 2 consecutive sides are congruent. So these 2 are equal, so the top 2 are equal, and the bottom 2 are equal. So this is not a parallelogram because there's nothing that's parallel. So, and then also the diagonals are perpendicular, so they intersect at a 90-degree angle. They intersect at a 90-degree angle. So So let's think about just the sides. So these two would be equal, these two would be equal. Your arm equals your arm, and the distance from your heart to your head, does that equal the heart to your feet? No, it doesn't. So these two are equal, and your arm equals your arm. So that's how you can remember the sides. Now the angles. So standing, so your arm stretched out. Your eye equals your eye. Your foot equals your foot. Your entire hand equals your entire hand. Now, does your thumb equal your fingers? No. But your thumb equals your thumb, and your fingers equal your fingers. And your heart is always right. So that's how you can remember that. Okay, so we're at the bottom of page 4. We're at the bottom of page 4. Now remember, to prove things, one more thing. Isosceles trapezoid. So there's trapezoid, and then there's isosceles trapezoid. Now the isosceles trapezoid means that, so basically think of an isosceles triangle where this and this are equal, and the top got cut off. That's basically what happened. The top got cut off. Okay, so we know that when your arms are equal, your elbows would be equal, right? Well, then it's also your wrist equals your wrist. In addition to that, for an isosceles trapezoid, the diagonals would be equal to each other. So if this was 10, this would also be 10. So all of this would be equal to all this. The diagonals would be equal to each other. Okay, so which is something like a rectangle. So only the rectangle and the trapezoid have equal diagonals. Just pointing that out. Okay, so these two would be equal, these two would be equal, but this does not equal that. If this equaled that, then it would turn into a rectangle. Just pointing that out. Okay, so now, so these are just rules. You just need to keep this page out in front of you the whole time, and you'll be just fine. All right, so remember, to do true or false, if you can think of one counter example, it's false. So kites are quadrilaterals. Okay, so draw a kite. So if we draw a kite, okay, the definition of a kite is a quadrilateral. It's 4 sides. So this is true. There's nothing I can do to this shape to make that false, so that's true. Okay, a kite is a parallelogram. All right, I can just use this one shape. This is a kite, but it's not a parallelogram. One of the rules is a kite not to be a parallelogram because no sides are parallel. These cannot be parallel. So that's false. That right there is false. So there's that. Okay, and then okay, so 2 consecutive sides. No opposite sides are congruent. See, it says no opposite sides congruent. So this and this cannot be equal. So that's one of the rules. So that's false because for it to be a parallelogram, the rule for a parallelogram says that opposite sides have to be equal, and that's one of the rules that a kite cannot be. The rule says no opposite sides are congruent. So the rule says no opposite sides congruent. That was the rule. Okay, so false. Okay, a kite can have congruent diagonals. Okay, well, let's just look at this one example right here. This is nice and long, and this is nice and short, so that's false. And this is my counter example. And finally, both diagonals of a kite bisect angles at the vertices. Okay, so let's look at this. And notice I'm trying to make it as exaggerated as possible. That way I can better guess what's going on. So we're saying that this and this are equal. Yes. And this are equal. Yes. So that's true. That one's true. That one's true. However, does your thumb equal your fingers? False. All right. So there's that. Okay, so we're going to keep page 4 out on our desk the whole time. You need to have these notes in front of you the whole time, and we're going to go to page 19. All right, so now we're on page 19. Okay, so now that we just did the notes, let's actually do some problems. Okay, so a non-isosceles trapezoid. So a non-isosceles trapezoid, so that would be these rules up here. So only one pair of opposite sides are parallel. That's the rule. Only one pair of sides of opposite sides are parallel. So this and this. And then consecutive angles. Consecutive angles are supplementary, but that only works when, so we have to add this, when not on same base. Okay, so this and this add up to 180. This and this add up to 180. So A plus B equals 180. D plus C equals 180. That's the rule. All right, number one. All right, so on number one, let's go ahead and label what they gave to us. So they said that angle DAB. So DAB, so what we're going to do is look at the middle letter. So looking at the middle letter, that's where the angle is located. Oh, A, there's no question as to where this angle is. So A is 62, and angle B, that, is 31. All right. Okay, so we turn this until these two lines are horizontal to us because of the parallel lines. Perfect. So we know that this and this add up to 180. So in this case, A and D add up to 180. All right, so 62 plus D equals 180, and you would solve. So I'm just writing a little bit of notes. So, and we would get 118. So 180 minus 62, and we get 118. Okay, and then over here, 31 and what would make 180 degrees? That'd be 49. Okay, so 31 plus C would equal 180 degrees, and we would get that. So C was 149, and D was 118. Be careful with the double digits. A lot of people put 188 instead of 118. I'm there. I've done it myself. Be careful. Sweet. All right, number two. Okay, so we know we pull these so that it is horizontal, those two parallel lines. Okay, so 12x plus 3 plus 7x minus 13 equals 180. All right, and solve. So 12 plus 7, so 12x plus 7x is 19x. Positive 3 and a negative 13 make a minus 10 equals 180. Add 10 to both sides, you get 190. Divide by 19, x equals 10. And what have I trained you to do? Always take your x and plug it back in for two reasons. One, to check yourself. And two, to be able to answer any question that they ask. Because a lot of people are going to go, oh, the answer is 10. But that's not what they're looking for. If you just plug it in, you have a better chance. So 12 times 10 plus 3. When you plug it in, we get 123. And then 7 times 10 minus 13, we get 57. And do those two add up to 180 degrees? Yes, they do. So 12x plus 3, this is 123. So this disappeared and turned into 123. And then this disappeared and turned into 57. And can you tell me what angle S is? No, we can't fold this over. We don't know anything about these other angles other than they add up to 180, but they have nothing to do with this side over here. So, okay, let's see if we can answer the question. They want angle R. And what is angle R? 57. All right, sweet. Fantastico. Okay, isosceles trapezoids. So isosceles trapezoids, they were nice enough to go ahead and give us all these little rules, which we already took care of on page 4 in this little picture. So just looking at this little picture right here, we should be able to answer all the questions. Okay, so let's just, you can read that later or not. All right, let's just bust this out. Okay, so first of all, you want to turn this until the parallel lines are horizontal to you. Okay, so we know that isosceles trapezoid is like an isosceles triangle, right? An isosceles triangle. So if my arm equals my arm, my elbow equals my elbow. Okay, so we know that these are equal, and my elbow is equal to my elbow. All All right, awesome. Let's go do this. So I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right, so here we go. These two are going to be equal to each other. So 2x plus 27 is equal to 5x minus 12. Solve. Subtract 2x, you get 3x minus 12 is equal to 27. Add 12 to both sides. 27 plus 12, we get 39 is equal to 3x. Divide by 3, x is equal to 13. So we have x is equal to 13. What if I told you to do from there is to always plug it back in, to check yourself, and to be able to answer any question that they ask. So 2 times 13 plus 27, this would turn into 53. And 5 times 13 minus 12, this would also turn into 53, which is what we wanted. All right, let's put it in the picture. This is 53. This is 53. Let's see. What did they want? Okay, so angle D was 53. Angle C was 53. All right, what would be angle A and D? Well, we know that these right here add up to 180 degrees. So the two verticals, right? So 53 plus A equals 180. I'm only writing that down to help you know what I'm doing in my head. Like, where did these numbers come from? So we get 127. And same thing here. 53 and B adds up to 180 degrees. And that would also be 127. Okay, so angle A was 127. Angle B was 127. All right, just rolling right along. Okay, number 4. So number 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start labeling stuff. They said E to H. So E to H. So this outside's right here. That is 4x. Whoops, let's do that in black. 4x minus 27. And F to G is x plus 9. E to G, that's the whole shebang. So I like to write it out here and stay in the direction that the line's going. So 3y plus 19, and F to H right here is 11y minus 21. All right, so we have those. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve for this. Now, we turn it so that these two lines are horizontal to us. So the two parallel lines are horizontal. Okay, so we know for a fact that this is an isosceles trapezoid, which is an isosceles triangle that got cut off. So I know my arm is equal to my arm. So this and this are equal. So 4x minus 27 is equal to x plus 9. All right, subtract 1x from both sides. We get 3x minus 27 equals 9. Add 27. So 9 plus 27, we get 36. Divide by 3, we get x is equal to 12. Okay, and then plug it in just to double check yourself. So 4 times 12 minus 27, this would disappear and turn into 21. All right, and then 12 plus 9 would also be 21. So good, this does look legit. Okay, now let's solve for y. Now, see the diagonals? So the diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are equal to each other, right? So this is equal to this. So 11y minus 21 is equal to 3y plus 19. All right, subtract 3y from both sides. 11 minus 3 would equal 8y. I'm going to add 21 to both sides. So 8y is equal to 19 plus 21. We get 40. Divide by 8. Y equals 5. Okay, let's plug it back in just to double check. 11 times 5 minus 21. This would turn into a 34. 3 times 5 plus 19 would equal 34 as well. Okay, that checks out. So this disappears in 34, and this disappears, and that's a 34. Okay, and they said, hey, what's x, what's y? So my x and my y are equal to 12 and 5. And that's all they wanted. But if they asked us for E to H, any of those, we would have been able to answer the question. Fantabulous. All right, one more page, guys. Let's go to page 20. Page 20. All right, so the mid segment of a trapezoid. Okay, so mid-segment of a trapezoid. We're just gonna skip this top part, basically, but just know that these are equal, those are equal, and then, so if this was little a, little b, and little m, the basic rule is that a plus b over 2 would equal little m. So just remember that right there. So that's the basic gist. So we're just going to cross this out. We really don't care. So just remember that. Okay, and then this and this are equal, this and this are equal. So that's the rule of that. Okay, moving right along. Okay, number 5. All right, so let's just go through the motions. I know the top, so you want to turn it until the horizontal lines, the parallel lines are horizontal. Okay, so the top and the bottom divide by 2 equal the middle. So we're going to do 38 plus x plus 14 all over 2 is equal to 5x minus 19. So we wouldn't want to get rid of the 2, so we're going to multiply it onto the other side. So 38 plus x plus 14 equals 2 times the other side. And you could have jumped straight there because I put that in the notes here. So you can either start here or you can start straight up with 2m equals a plus b. I just put it on the other side. Oh wait, let's go ahead and combine like terms. So x is the only x over here. 38 and 14 would make a 52, which equals, okay, distribute. 2 times 5 is 10x, and then 2 times 19, so 2 times a negative 19 would equal a negative 38. All right, I'm going to subtract the x on both sides. I get a positive 52 is equal to 9x minus 38. I'm going to add 38 to both sides, and we get 90 equals 9x, x equals 10. Now plug it back in for a number of reasons. 1, to check yourself, and 2, to be able to answer any question. So this is still 38. 5 times 10 minus 19, this would be 31. And 10 plus 14 would be 24. And does that look legit? Does 38 plus 24 divided by 2 equal the middle? That's the question. So 38 plus 24, which is 62, divided by 2 would be 31. This does check out. Okay, let's answer their question. They said, what was y to z? Oh, so they didn't even ask us for x. They wanted y to z, and that answer is 31. That's what they wanted. They wanted 31. Tricky little buggers. All right, number 6. So number 6, we have the midpoints again. So, sorry, not the midpoint. They want the mid segment. So top and bottom divide by 2 equals the middle. So 2x plus 11 plus 6x minus 1 divided by 2 is equal to the middle, 25. All right, I'm just going to throw the 2 onto the other side. So I just threw the 2 onto the other side. And we could have jumped straight to here if you wanted to. These out together equal 2 of the middle, whatever. All right, combine like terms. So 2x and 6x make it 8x. 11 and a negative 1 make a positive 10 equals 50. Okay, so subtract 10 from both sides. We get 40. Divide by 8, x equals 5. Okay, so we have x equals 5. Plug it back in to check yourself and to prepare for whatever they ask us. So 2 times 5 plus 11 would be 21. This would still be 25 here. And 6 times 5 minus 1 would be 29. Okay, so we have our answers. Let's double check. So 21 plus 29 divided by 2 should equal 25. Let's see. 21 plus 29 is 50. Divide by 2 is 25. So this does check out. And answer their question. They wanted K to L. This is what they wanted. So our answer is, K to J. They wanted K to J. And that our answer is 29. Sweet. All right. Okay. So a kite. So First of all, you should never look at it this way. You should always turn it until the top is equal. So like Jesus. So turn it so that this right here is it looks like this, and then your eye would equal your eye, your foot would equal your foot, and that's the best way to look at this. So we're going to ignore the words and just go ahead and jump straight into the problems. Okay, so first of all, let's turn this until this is vertical to us. And now everything will start making sense. Okay, so let's look at that. So my eye equals my eye, so this is 52. And let's see. So my hand, so this is my fingers, my finger and my thumb doesn't equal each other, but this 65, my fingers equal my fingers over here, so this would also be 65. I also know that my the center right here is 90 degrees because your heart is always right. All right, what else can we find? Let's see, we know that we have triangles here, so we know triangles create 180 degrees, right? So right here, I know that 90 plus 52 plus, I'm going to just call it x, is equal to 180. So if we have that, so this would have to be 38 degrees. So that would be 38. And then my thumb would equal my thumb, so this is also 38. And we can do the same rule down here. We know that 90, 65, and this angle would equal 180 degrees. So that would have to be 25. That would have to be 25, so my foot would equal my foot. This would also be 25. So we found all the angles. All right, let's go ahead and put it into here. So we know that angle 1 is 25. Angle 2 is 25. We know that angle 3 is 90. Angle 4 is 65. Angle 5 is 38. Angle 6 is 38. And angle 7 is 52. So we found all those answers. Sweet. All right, last problem. Okay, they said A to C. So I'm going to put that in black. So A to C is 38. They said E to D, so all this is 41. And they want C to D. Okay, so this pops up a lot. Okay, so I know that this is 38. This is also 38. And they said E to D was 41. Okay, I feel like I did something wrong. Oh, A to C. Shoot. Sorry. I knew something was wrong. Let's try that again. Put that in the wrong spot. Sorry about that. They said A to C. A to C. A to C was 38. So all this is 38. So I put it on the outside. So so we know that my arm is equal to my arm. So if this is 38, just divide that by 2. 38 divided by 2, this would be 19. So this is 19 and this is 19. And they want C to D. So they want this right here. So let's call that X. Now how are we supposed to find that? Okay, well, if you just focus just on this, there's the triangle. And we know that this is a right angle right here because your heart is always right. So if we just focus just on the triangle, so I'll draw it out here so you can see it a little better. So this is 19, this is 41, and we have this right angle right here. So what we have is, put your finger on the right angle. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The two sides you're physically touching when you put your finger on the right angle is your a and your b. It doesn't matter which is which. So 19 squared plus 41 squared is equal to your biggest side, x squared. So 19 squared, we get 361. 41 squared, we get 1681 is equal to x squared. Add those two together. So 361 plus 1681, we get 2042 is equal to x squared. Square root both sides. And you get either that answer, but they said rounds nearest tenth. So when you square root, so square root of 2042, we get 45 point. And do we stay at 1 or do we go up to 2? We go up to 2. So 45.2. is equal to x. And that's your answer. All right, so we just finished our notes for today. Make sure you get all your stuff done. Yeah, have a great and wonderful day.